Hello everybody and welcome back to Solving Standard. I'm Corbin Hostler and this is Indomitable Creativity. That's right, you heard it. This is a brew. I was expecting to wait until Dominaria came out to fire back up the Solving Standard series, but here we are. I could not pass this up. Shout out to Andrew Tolson, who was at one point 7-2 at Grand Prix Seattle with this deck. A lot of players played a lot of, quote-unquote real decks, meta decks, your Hazoret, your Scarab Gods, your Sultai Snake decks, and they did not make day 2, but Andrew did with this brew. So, what is the brew? Indomitable Creativity, 3 red and X. Destroy X target artifacts or creatures. Now, there's a lot of words on this, but essentially what happens is you destroy equal to X, artifacts and creatures. The people who had those destroyed then reveal cards from the top of their library until they hit the same number of artifacts or creatures, and they go into play. Then they can work for both your opponent and you. So you can hit your own stuff and get cards out of your own deck, but in a pinch you can use it as removal and, spin the wheel and see what they get. So with that in mind, what our deck aims to do is create a bunch of treasure tokens and then sacrifice those to Indomitable Creativity and hit bombs on top of our deck. So let's start at the end game here. What are we going to reveal? Torrential Gearhulk, pretty good control card. Combustible Gearhulk, okay, never cast this card in my life, but pretty good one. First strike, 6/6. Whenever it's a battlefield, your opponent may have you draw 3 cards. Something tells me they're not going to let us draw 3 cards. The other option is you put 3 cards from top of your library into your graveyard, and they take damage equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. So with these Nezahal in your deck, that can be quite a bit. Locust God, pretty good against removal, given that it can come back to your hand when it dies, and you can loot for 4. Nezahal. Now this one's insane. Elder Dinosaur can't be countered. No maximum hand size. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. And the real kicker that makes sure this thing never goes away. Discard 3 cards, exile it, return to your control at the beginning of the next end step. So pretty good. It fuels itself. It can get through a lot of removal spells. It's great. So those are the 5 creatures we run. We can hit those off of Indomitable Creativity when we sacrifice treasures. So next step is getting treasure. How are we going to do that? With one of my favorite cards, Spell Swindle. 5 mana, counter target spell, create X colorless treasure tokens where X is that spell's converted mana cost. They tap out for a 5-drop, try to play Verter's Gearhulk or something? Well, how about I Spell Swindle that? Now I have 5 treasure tokens. Now I am Indomitable Creativity for 4 or 5 on my next turn. Now I have a board of giant creatures. Deal with it. That's pretty good. We also have Depths of Desire, the old Ixalan limited standout here. Bounce a creature, create a treasure token. We have... This is the kicker, everyone. Hornswoggle. It may be a meme. I don't know what it means to hornswoggle something. From what I can tell, it's one pirate hitting another pirate with an iron or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell exactly. All I know is sometimes you hornswoggle your opponents, and it feels very good. Counter-target creature spell, you get a treasure token. So, in order to make all that happen and get to that sweet end game, we have to survive. And that's where the rest of this comes in. Sweltering Suns wipes the board and cycles when you need it to. A Braid does what a Braid does. Harness Lightning, creates energy, helpful for your Ether Hubs, and flexible removal spell. Opt, search for Ascanta, and Glimmer of Genius to dig through your deck. Disallow for a little bit of, generic interaction here. Struggle to survive. Very good against the Scarab God, I might add. 3 mana, deal damage equal number of lands. Then the Aftermath Survive, which remember we can create off of treasure tokens or Ether Hub. Shuffle, each player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Gets rid of the Scarab God. All in one card. Search for Ascanta, of course, pretty good. So that's the deck. We're going to survive, we're going to control, we're going to draw extra cards, and eventually we're going to play these bombs, whether it's by hardcasting them with counterspell backup or cheating them into play with Indomitable Creativity. There are going to be bombs, and they're going to be ours, and we're going to win the game off of them. That's the deck. The deck is awesome. Shout out again to Andrew Tolson for playing it to a great finish of the GP. Sideboard addresses some of the things you'd expect it to. More Struggle to Survive action, Fiery Cannonades to wipe the board when you need to. Braids for the Troublesome Godpharaoh's Gift matchup. Chandra's Defeat where you need it. Spell Pierce, Essence, Scatter, Negates. Insidious Will, that's a fun one. River's Rebuke to bounce everything in. The alternate win condition against control decks or slow matchups, whatever. Mechanized Production. At the beginning of your upkeep, you enchant a artifact and you make a copy of that artifact. And if you control 8 or more of that artifact with the same name, you win the game. Works pretty well, I might say, with treasure tokens. So that's the deck. Now, I took Andrew's list exactly. I would make a couple changes to it. I think Magma Spray needs to be in the 75, likely in the sideboard. Wouldn't hate putting another you know, a braid or two into the main deck, given how popular the God Pharaoh's Gifts decks are right now. That blue-red God Pharaoh's Gift deck is very, very good. But overall, this deck is very solid and quite a bit of fun to play. So here we go, everybody. This is Solving Standard. Expect a lot more of this with Dominaria, but we're going to get an early start now with this awesome deck. I'm Corbin Hostler. Thank you for watching.